after some miraculous medical work by the training staff, I was able to make it on the ice today.
What about Jason Spezza's update?
He's skating, and I think it's gone. We can say it's gone beyond public skating, and he's into the next stage of his rehab, and we're hoping for him and that it can progress as quickly as it can. But at the same time, it has to be done properly. But he has elevated his work schedule, and that's good.
So is he in the final stage of most?
No. I don't think he's not in the final stages at all. No. The final stage would be if you actually come out and practice with the team and be a full participant in a full practice with the team, and he's not. I don't think he's close to that yet.
So do you have any indication of when he might be somewhere near being able to practice?
It all depends on how it goes for him when he starts. So he's upgraded it. His work level has been upgraded, and we'll see how it goes.
So when he wouldn't join the team until he's ready to practice. Or is there a possibility he could travel?
Depending on the process that he's in, but he, much like when Eric Carlson and Milan came back and Cowan came back, you can't come out and just practice with the team unless you're ready to practice with the team. And I mean, that's not trying to be mean or anything. The team has to come first in what it needs to do, and when Jason's ready, much like everyone else is, when he's ready to be a full participant, he'll come with the team, and then it'll be a process of day to day when he would be able to get in the lineup.
How did you feel like Nutterson and Cal Turris played the last couple of games?
I thought Kyle has played very well. I think his play in the face-off circle has been good. I thought his play with and without the puck has been very consistent for the whole season, really since injury adversity hit us. Kyle's been a very consistent player for us, and hasn't always been the big-time point producer for us, but has always been. I think his game has grown a lot, and he's a very consistent player night after night now. And I think he's obviously scoring a big goal last night in overtime, and being involved in the goal that tied the game as well, doing the little things that make a difference, and it's nice to see the growth of a player.
Mike Hoffman's practiced 3 days now. Is he available if you wanted to play him?
I think he's close to that, but I'm not sure that he's like ready to play. He's in that final kind of practice stage of it. I think we would hesitate right now to use him, but I think he's very close to being available if we do want him. Huge contribution by Sergei. I think he's part of that leadership group of Daniel and Chris that played 46 of the 48 games, and I think that's a big part of the success that we had, was the fact that we lost a lot of good players due to injury, but those 4 guys played almost every game, and I think a great credit to the success that we've had goes to those guys, and Sergei every bit as much as Daniel Alfredson, Chris Phillips, or Chris Neal.
What did you do this year that maybe wasn't working for him much?
Well, we thought he was a pretty good player for us last year too. For me, he was. To me, Sergei's an elite puck mover he gets the puck moving. He can find outlets. He has poise in the defensive zone to show the young players, here's how you can make somebody miss and make an outlet pass. He has that ability. He's not the physical, brawly kind of a guy, but he's competitive. He's competitive, and I think he shows good leadership to our young players, but the biggest thing he shows them is poise under pressure.
Disappointment that Craig Anderson is not the finalist for the President?
Well, personally, and for our team, we're disappointed, but we also understand that there's 30 other guys in the league or more and everyone thinks their guys are good. So, unfortunately, I think the lack of games made it done. Obviously, he's got the best goals against, he's got the best save percentage in the league, and so I think those stats speak for themselves. But when it comes to these type of things, we don't really have any control over it. For us, he's been outstanding.
We're out of Montreal. I guess John getting operated on.
surprise day to day? You feel like you're going up against a wounded animal?
Well, we're scared to death. I know that. I know I am. And, I mean, we know it's going to be really hard. Tomorrow's is hard. It's going to be hard. I know that. They're going to be very competitive. We have to come out and be competitive. It's going to be a hard game, and we have to make sure we're ready for that. No matter what they have or who they play, they're going to play hard.
Can the players learn lessons that were here last year from, say, Game 6 when you have a chance to eliminate their injuries?
No, we're going to find out tomorrow if we learned any lessons. I mean, we can talk about it and speak to it and address it, but it's actually done on the ice at 7:05 when the puck drops, and that's when we're going to find out for sure. But we're certainly going to discuss it, and we're going to find ways to do it. Do we need to do things differently, or how we have to do things to make sure that we have an opportunity by the end of the night.
Do you feel like you learned some lessons, your team learned some lessons last night that are going to carry over for tomorrow in terms of, I don't know.
Well, I think that, Ken, for our team, part of our identity is that we play the whole game, no matter how long it is. And last night was a good indication of that. They were better than us for a part of the game, or maybe even a large part of the game, if you want to say it. But I thought that by the end of the game, the fact that we stuck to our structure and work ethic and stayed within ourselves and continued to play hard until the end of the game, we found a way to get it tied up, and we found a way to win the game. And that's been the identity of our team since last year, as a team that plays 200 feet, plays 60, 65 minutes, however long it takes, and we play hard. And I think that was the reason why we ended up winning this game, is that we played harder longer.
Where would you like to see your team improve from game 1 to?
For me, it's always execution early in the game. We can handle the puck and make plays and get out of our zone, or spend no time in our zone with how we prefer to do it, but knowing full well that's not going to happen. But if we could, our execution with the puck and being in good spots and not spending large amounts of time on our end would be a big key.
Are you ever surprised at the contributions nightly from young players, like just guys that the spotlight of the playoffs doesn't seem to phase them? They're there at the right times.
Well, I try to say that nothing surprises me, but if you don't give them the opportunity, they can't step up either. And I think as the coach, you can't always get wrapped up in what someone did at a certain time in a game. You have to find a way to win the game, and you have to have the right people on the ice with the opportunity to win the game. And that's what we try to do here between myself and Dave Cameron and Mark Reeds. We try to discuss between periods and even on the bench who's going, who's playing, who's going. We got to get the guys that are going on the ice, and last night was an indication of that.
You feel like Pajot was going again the first 4 periods? It seemed that he was one of your best players again.
I thought he's been very consistent, and if he's going to be that consistent, we got to keep getting him on the ice. And I thought Mika was a little bit inconsistent. I thought Conacher was a little inconsistent, obviously, with the turnover on the second goal that led to the second goal. But at the same time, you can't get caught up in that. It's a long game, and it's once we started to establish our game, they're important players in our team, and we had to make sure that we give them an opportunity, and everyone that's playing well an opportunity to be successful.
Are you healthy from last night, guys? Everybody played last night?
Yes.
When you decided to throw Conacher out in that situation after not playing very much in the third, is it a lot of consulting going on, or is it a gut feeling, or?
A little of both, I think.
Yeah.
This conversation with Dave and I, who do we need for if we get the goalie out on the fly, who's going to go? And Corey's a player that can play and has speed, so he could get to the net quicker. But I think it ended up being on a face-off, and we decided to do it then.
The fact that he gets
quickness.
the bench to the net.
Yeah, that's a factor. Yeah, and the fact that he has, he's quick hands around the net, has skill around the net, where he ended up scoring a goal, and we gave him some direction, and it was good.
How much of that goes back to the idea that you don't really ever want to give up on your players? And speaking with a lot of them today, the general consensus was that the positive attitude that you brought and your willingness to constantly say if somebody's struggling, get them back out onto the ice. How much did that contribute to it too?
Well, Well, that's the way I am. So, I mean, right now, since I've been here, this has been a team that's been in a rebuild, and we've not using that term very often, but when I got the job, that's what it was described as. So I've felt that we are a team of opportunity for young players from that day forward. So starting last year, we were a team of opportunity. With the leadership core that we have here, that we've already mentioned, it's easier to let younger players have the opportunity when you have those kind of people that you can lean on and help you to teach them. Also, the quality of the players we're able to put in the lineup and give the opportunity to is very high. The work that the scouting staff has done and the player development staff has done and that the staff in Binghamton has done allows us to bring these players up and put them in the lineup, and they're good players. So that quality of player also makes it easier for us as a coaching staff to continue to put them back on the ice and to continue to give them opportunity. If they weren't good enough players, we probably wouldn't put them back on the ice. And I think that's all part of the equation, and that's a compliment totally to Brian Murray and his staff.
There were a few calls last night that were kind of gone both ways. I guess the goal, Chuck Darian talked about the face-off that was on a different side than it should have been. What did you think of his complaints about that?
I thought it was very hard to coach my team, and I just try to coach my team. I don't try to be the referee. I'd like to be a player again, but I can't even put me on the ice anymore. So I try not to get caught up in any of that. I've learned one thing I've learned over the past 2 years is I can't referee from the bench, and so I don't try to referee anymore. That's not to say I haven't in the past, but I've tried to make a conscious effort not to referee because I'm only a coach, and I find that's a hard enough job to do.
You were with Detroit a couple years ago, and you guys were down 3-0 in the Sens, and came back to tie, so you didn't lose with. What do you think their mindset is over there right now, and how do you have to prepare for the mindset that they're in, given that they're facing elimination? It's a pretty deep question.
That's a good question.
I'm just trying to coach my team. I'm not trying to coach theirs. Our mindset tomorrow is it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to win, and we have to prepare for that.
Are you still kind of waiting, Paul, for your team to put together a solid 60 minutes in this series?
Well, I think Game 3 was a solid 60 minutes, and I think every game has been solid. But the other team doesn't always behave the way you want them to. I mean, they're actually out there trying to win too, and they make it difficult for you to say that you're not going to dominate the whole game. The momentum is going to go back and forth. So we've been solid in 3 games. Like our goaltender was solid in Game 1 and gave us an opportunity to win the game. Game 3, our whole team, I think, was probably the best game we've played any time of the year as far as being that team. And last night, I thought we were a solid team again. We stuck to what we do, and we did it longer and harder. And to me, that was we weren't great at the start, but by the end of the game, we were the better team. We won. So I think we've been solid throughout, and the way the playoffs go, momentum swings so quickly, it's almost impossible to just say, oh, we're going to, you dominate the whole game. That's not going to happen.
Anything else for Coach MacLean?